Hi, everybody. Before we get to another great interview, we could really use your help. IMDb, which is the entertainment database, recently named the Too Opinionated podcast one of its top 100 podcasts. This is a monumental feat for this program. You know, we're a father and son team out of a small town in West Virginia, have been doing this for about 5 years. There's 15 million podcasts out there. About 40,000 of those get to the point that they're listed on IMDb. Out of those 40,000 out of the 15 million, we were ranked number 82. Something that we're just immensely proud of. We're so thankful for our listeners, our watchers, our fans. Thank you so, so much. If you would like to help us out, and we're asking for it, please. It's easy. It's really easy. It's free. If you go to IMDb, that's imdb.com, look up Too Opinionated Podcast, and just take a look at the page. That's all you have to do. I mean, you're welcome to look at the cast, look at the episodes so you can kind of see who's been on the program. Do whatever you want. But even just bringing up the page, imdb.com, Too Opinionated Podcast, bring up the page, look at it. That helps us so much. So please, if you can do anything, we would really appreciate that. Our YouTube channel is MeisterCon Pod. Love to have your subscription there. It's also free. And you can also check out our website, meistercon.com, where you'll find almost 700 episodes, audio and video, available on there. There's also a terrific blog from Brett, and it'll let you know anything that we have going on in studio, if we're covering a convention, if we're going on location, anything that we have going on will be on the website, meistercon.com. Thank you guys so, so much. We appreciate you so much. I can't express enough how appreciative we are of all of you. We never expected to do as well as we have, and that's all because of you. Thank you so much. Enjoy that interview. Bye, everybody. Hi, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Too Opinionated. I'm so excited today. I've got actress, businesswoman, dancer, Sabrina Strasser with me. So welcome, Sabrina.
Thank you so much. How are you?
That's a lot of hats, and I'm good.
Good. It is, but they're good hats. They're fun hats. So it's all good.
Well, I was in business for 30 years and then got into podcasting. So I can understand the finding something that you're passionate about a little later with that. And it's the best. Once you kind of find that thing that you love doing, or those things, you can't beat it. It's just fun.
It's amazing. And once you do something you love, you don't feel like you're actually working. So
yeah,
it just makes sense to do things that you love. And I wish that everybody could find something as passionate, as I am about dance and my business and so on.
I know. So let's jump into it and talk about it. Let's start this way. Tell me a little bit about the acting side, and at what point did you decide to try dance?
So, acting was really just because I've always wanted to be on television, on camera. I really didn't get very far with that. And thankfully, I, was able to get on Dancing Queens, which is a reality show that I didn't have to act, but I got on TV. So it was perfect. And, it all worked out for the best. Acting was just where I dibble dabbled, I guess you can say, with commercials and with stuff like that, but little show parts. But the real TV opportunity that I had was Dancing Queens, and that was
I do remember seeing you in Bomb Girls.
Bomb Girls, yes.
Yeah. We had Allie's been on the show, so that was at that time I watched for her interview, and I was like, hey.
Yes,
I think you played Francine, if I remember right.
And I was holding my newborn baby daughter, and she was really my newborn baby daughter. So it just
really?
Yeah. So it was perfect that I had her, and they needed both of us.
Does she get a acting credit for that?
No, she did not. She literally just slept in my arms the whole time.
That seems unfair. She was on camera.
She was really good at sleeping, so she should.
Well, so were you dancing before Dancing Queens came along, or did you say, okay, I'm going to try dancing because of Dancing Queens?
No, it actually was many years later. So the way I
Yeah.
started dancing was I literally was just watching Dancing with the Stars when I was 29 years
Yeah.
old, living alone. And I realized, you know what? Let me just try this once a week for fun. I took it up once a week after work, had a great time. And I just said, you know what? Let's keep going. And one teacher led me to another teacher who became more competitive and more competitive. And that's how I started. I was really like 30 years old starting to dance, and that's what's beautiful about ballroom. You're able to start at any age and dance at any level. And for me it became a passion where I was very, very dedicated and very competitive. And then Dancing Queens came along wanting to make a show about how these women who are kind of like middle-aged 40s, spending money on dancing and hiring professionals to dance with them in a competitive stream. So that's how really it came about.
Well, so you were actually competing, right?
Yes,
You were doing probably like a pro-ams, I'm guessing.
that's right.
Yeah.
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 So
Is there a go ahead.
we are amateurs and we hire professionals to dance with us because we're too not old, but we're older in the competitive ballroom world that we can't find partners to compete professionally. So we hire professionals to dance with us, and it's called the pro-am category, so professional and amateur.
Okay. Okay. Well, that makes sense. I was going to ask, do they grade you on your professional dancer that's with you? But I guess they have to if it's
Well,
a professional amateur.
yeah, so at the bottom line, when you're into the finals, they're looking at you as a couple. So regardless if you're dancing with a professional, they're looking to see connection, musicality. It's not only about steps and what he's taught you, but it's really about connecting with your partner. So that makes a big difference for the winner and not the winner.
Is there a difference in ballroom dancing and Latin ballroom dancing?
No, so ballroom dancing, there's different. We're all in the ballroom. There's Latin, there's standard, there's smooth, and there's rhythm,
Okay.
which are different categories of the ballroom world. And Dancing Queens covered the Latin category.
That
So
seems like the most fun.
it is a lot of fun. The others are a lot of fun too, and I've started to try smooth, and they're a lot of fun, and it's hard work. But Latin is where I think all the attention is going to right now because people love Latin dancing, and it's
Yeah.
become this huge deal. So
Well, you can't watch Latin dancing and not get kind of pumped up, even
I
if you're
agree.
just sitting on the couch.
I agree. I mean, that's why Dancing with the Stars is doing so well because
Yeah.
people just resonate with the dancing, the costumes, the glitter, the makeup, and the music. You just want to get up and dance. And that's really how I started, is really just watching it and saying, you know what, I'm going to give this a try. And then you don't realize what's in you and what you have to offer.
Yeah, and I'm guessing, and you tell me if I'm right, that once you started, and you probably started with like the equivalent of a beginning teacher for a musical instrument, but at a certain point, they've kind of taught you what they can teach you. You got to move to someone a little more advanced to get
Right.
into the competition. But I'm guessing once you started competing, you got kind of addicted to it.
So really that is truly what happened. I started with one partner who said, "You know what? I'll teach you the basics, but
Yeah.
now I think you need to move on to this teacher." And then that teacher moved me on to another teacher, and it kind of snowballed into where I am today. And then I became very addicted, and I chose the partner I wanted to bring me to a winning level. That's really, you start to look who's good, who's not, who do you want to be beside you.
It's a fun show because it kind of combines elements of those reality shows, that you watch where it has the conflict between
Yeah,
the people on the show with dance.
right. I
You've
think
got
they
an
wanted,
activity involved.
yes, and I think they wanted a lot of drama. And unfortunately, we are competitors on the dance floor and we
Yeah.
can give them only so much. We are comrades in the ballroom. You really are genuinely happy for your friends and you care about how they do. Of course you want to win, but at the end of the day, I think Bravo wanted a lot more drama, and that's the joy of reality TV. You can't fake it. If it's not there, it's not there.
Yeah,
So
very true.
yeah,
Now, I've heard when I've talked to other reality participants that sometimes the editing can make
yeah.
you look differently than you
Yeah.
actually were. Did you encounter any of that?
So I actually think I'm a nice person.
You seem very lovely.
Thank you. On the show, I'm not so sure that it came across that way. It may have been that I was the most competitive, cocky, arrogant, out to get you kind of woman. And you know what? That was okay with me because at the end of the day, I am competitive. I did want to
Yeah.
win, but I truly do care about life and family. And I know I've had to, on the show, you'll see I had to miss a few things. I don't want to spoil it for anybody who hasn't watched it, but there are times where you have to pick and choose the importance of what is important at that time.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
yeah,
Absolutely. And I don't think, a lot of times we we look negatively on someone that is confident and competitive. And
right.
that's, if you're involved in any type of sport, and I think dancing qualifies for that.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're not competitive, what are you doing?
Well, that's what I say. I mean, what's the point of going out there and competing if you're not going to be the winner? Like, you want to
Yeah.
win. And I think all of us come out there to do the same thing. That is our job. We want to win. And, I'm going to admit it, because if I deny that, it's stupid. I would look stupid and I wouldn't be truthful. And I did want to win. So
Yeah. Well, I think that's a good thing.
thank you. At least
So
I've got you.
you've got me.
Yes.
You've got the whole family, because we've
Oh,
been
good.
watching, getting ready for the interview, and just had a blast. We've had the
Oh,
best time. But all my kids are grown; they're out of the house. But my daughters actually came to us, and we sat and watched over the weekend. We sat and watched, several episodes. So
I'm
we're
so glad.
yeah, we're excited to do it, because we kind of, when they were younger,
Mhm.
both of them danced, and we watched a lot of So You Think You Can Dance and Dancing with the Stars, all of that stuff. So
Oh,
this was perfect for us.
I'm so glad. Yeah, it's a great show and it really shows a different world. Nobody really realized that Pro-Am existed. And I think that's what I was happy about. Whether we get any more seasons, which I know right now we're not going to get a season 2 right now, but I really believe that this brought light to the ballroom. It really showed people that you can dance at any age and you can really,
I didn't realize there was competitions like
yeah.
that. So yeah, I think it may encourage other people to give it a try, or maybe they're looking, especially when you get around our ages, you're looking for something, if you're competitive, that you can compete in.
Yes, you're looking for an outlet, you're looking for a
Yeah,
passion, a pastime, whatever it may be. I see women and men who are 90 years old taking lessons, and it's
amazing.
so lovely because, what are you going to do? You want to do something, move and, listen to music. I think it keeps you young
It has to keep you more flexible and
for sure.
agile, and
For sure.
all of that, healthy.
Healthy, 100%.
Yeah.
Not everybody has to be out to win or for blood or, people can just do it for the beauty of the sport.
Do you go out dancing when you're not ballroom dancing?
No, I'm so tired. I'm not gonna lie, I'm so tired after a day of practice. I become after practice, I'm the wife, the mother, and everything else that comes along with, being married and having kids. And my girls are both competitive dancers. So literally after, I drop them off at school and I may go to practice, and then it's the groceries, picking them up, taking them to dance. It's really I could not go out dancing and partying after. I mean, it has to be a good occasion. And I would love to do that. It looks like fun. I just never have the opportunity or the strength.
New Year's coming up.
Yeah, New Year's. I'll be in Cabo, so maybe that
Oh,
will.
very nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
You almost have to dance in Cabo.
I mean, I hope that right. Yeah, I agree. So it'll be fun. It'll be fun
Yeah,
for
that's
sure.
terrific. What does your family think of the program?
So I think everybody was very supportive and very excited for this
Yeah.
to, to take off, and really supportive of me, because that was my ultimate dream, was to be on television and to showcase something that I love doing. I was really living my best life. I was on TV. I was showing off my beautiful family and my wonderful passion, and, doing what I love to do on television. So they were very supportive. Of course, my girls, were a little bit, hesitant about being
Of
on
course.
camera, and hesitant about how I would be portrayed, because it is a reality show and they've seen all those shows like Dance Moms and all
Right.
those shows that can really portray you as a bad person. But at the end of the day, they were happy with how it turned out, and everybody was okay,
Did you make any friends on the show?
So of course the crew became friends. I still
Yeah.
keep in touch with one of the producers. She's wonderful. And they practically live in your house. So the difference with our show is that they had to fly to me, because I'm in Toronto. They had to fly and spend 4 or 5 days filming and
Right.
cram, because I don't live in New York. And so they're really in my house the whole day, in my bathroom, in my bathtub, taking a bath, washing my face. Like, they want to catch it all. I was wearing a bathing suit, so don't like your eyes kind of like really in the back. But
It's like they're everywhere.
yeah, they're really everywhere. So we became really, really like friends. And
Yeah.
the other castmates, I still see them. We still compete against each other. It's not over. I mean, life continued after the show, and I still see them at competitions. We wish each other luck. We text each other. I can say that we're not best friends off air. We never were. So, but we're friendly. We're
Yeah.
definitely friends.
I think that's pretty good. If you were competing in whatever sport, I
Right.
mean, that's kind of what it is. Or even just working. You get
Yeah.
those work friendships where you're more friendly than actual friends, but that's just
Right.
kind of how it goes.
That's just how it is. And I'm grateful for their friendships when I see them. And it's difficult. We're all in different cities, not like we're
Yeah.
going out for drinks.
Right.
So yes.
You're not inviting them to Cabo, is what you're saying.
No, 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 no. I have
Was
all
it
my stuff.
different in practicing before the show and then trying to practice and get ready for competition during the show? Like, once your face kind of gets out there and you start getting fans, I would think that would make it more difficult to prepare.
So very difficult.
Yeah.
Very difficult when you're dancing in front of a slew of cameras around you, and
Right.
that you're going to be televised. If you screw up, you're really upset at yourself, because the whole world will see, and they're going to pick your screw ups, because
Well, of
that's just
course, that's
TV.
drama.
Yes, and it's difficult because you always have to be on, and really, people don't realize how difficult reality television is. Even if you're not acting, you're on the whole time. You have to mic up and cameras in your face, and even if you're drinking water, you have like 10 cameras on you, and you have to feel like you have to look good and act a certain way and just be proper, and it's like, it's exhausting. And by the end of it, you start to let go of who you want to be like, and you just be yourself, because it's too tiring to try to portray yourself in a better light than what you are. So you just go with it. But after the 4 or 5 days that they were here in my world, it was very exhausting. And then going to a competition and that added stress and the practices that they show up at, it's a lot. But I wouldn't have traded that opportunity. So
Well, yeah, that's
yeah.
exactly right. Well, I know that I had read that, like me, you're more of an introvert when you can. So with me, if I have to be on for a long period of time, I have to have downtime, which usually means by
Yes.
myself. How do you kind of recoup after you've been on for a while?
I lie in bed, I make a sleepy time tea, and
Oh,
I
nice.
put my hair in a bun, and I eat cookies, and I just watch television.
Yeah,
And
that's me.
I just
I
want to
mean,
like
outside of the hair in a bun, that's not happening. But other than that, that's exactly what I'm doing.
yeah, I just
I
want to
need
lie in
something
bed.
that's a little bit mindless, just
Right.
to kind of reset.
Reset, like TV, phone, whatever it is that can calm
Yeah.
me down, just to close my eyes and reset. And that tea is very important. I love tea, so it kind of calms me down. And yeah, it's really nice to have your own time. And I really needed that during the show.
Yeah. When they came to you to kind of pitch the show to you or ask you to be on the show, what was that thought process like as far as accepting? Were you always oh, I'm doing this, or
Oh,
did you
yes.
actually have to weigh the pros and cons?
Oh, no, I didn't have to weigh anything.
Okay.
I just said yes. Listen, no, I told them there was no denying that I wanted this for my whole life. And they came to me and asked me, and I said, yes, when, where, how, like, me famous. For me, it was a shoo-in. I just wanted it, and I prayed that I would have been chosen. And because they did have a lot of women that they were, interviewing. And I don't deny that the first second I heard it, it was like, please take me. Of course, the contract you have to read through and discuss, but other than that, I was for sure there was no thinking about it at all.
Yeah, that one, and I'd be the same. I mean, when you get the opportunity, you can't just hide from it. You got to
No.
actually take advantage of it.
And you never know where it can take you. I mean,
Yeah.
for me, this was a step in the direction that I wanted to go in. It may not be the step for everybody. I know many people who've turned down that opportunity. So, for me, I know this was what I wanted.
Was it difficult to convince your dance partner to do the show?
So it's funny you say that, because I was dancing with a different partner than you see on the show. And unfortunately, the partner I was dancing with at the time said no and ended up moving anyway to New York. So it kind of worked out. He didn't want to be on TV. And I was broken because I said, how am I going to do this show with a partner? But, it's funny how life works, because I just ended up going back to Stas, who you see on the show, and
he's
went
pretty
back to
awesome.
him. Yeah, and he was like, yeah, sure, I'll do it. So, and he's great for TV. His character was great. Our fighting was great on TV. Like, everything worked. And I think if I was with the partner I had been with, it wouldn't have been the same show. So I think everything happened for a reason.
I kind of took the arguing or the fighting that you had. It was just that you're both very passionate about what you're doing and want to be the best that you can be. So it causes some friction on occasion.
It really does. And it really, really becomes this bone of contention with us. And it just takes over the dancing. We just fight and fight, and we both want control. And, what you saw on the show is just so like small compared to how much we do fight.
Right.
But for lack of a better word, but you know what, otherwise we're great. Like, on the dance floor, when we have to perform, we do, and it works. So
what happens if you're both still angry with each other when it's time to dance? Do you dance angry, or does it just...
Oh yeah, we do. And in one of the episodes we were, and it was very difficult. And you could see it. We're not good actors when we're angry. So you could see that we're dancing angry. And a lot of times now I've learned to try to, make friends before we go on the dance floor, because you don't want that to come through on your performance. It really does hinder your performance. So
it's so difficult though. Anytime you're working real close with, or even in a relationship with somebody, and you have that argument or that little fight or whatever, but then you have to go and be around people, so you both have to kind of pretend like everything's fine. That's hard.
It's very hard. And that's when you have to be a good actress. And really, it's very hard, because I don't like faking how I feel. I really just wear my heart on my sleeve. And if I'm angry, you can see it. And I know they caught a clip of me being angry in one of the episodes on the dance floor. So they're really good at finding everything.
Well, of course.
Yeah.
Apparently they're following you around in the bathroom and everything.
They are.
They're not going to miss anything.
In a bubble bath after practice. Yes, they are. It never made the show though. I was really upset. I was like, gosh, that was a great scene.
Yeah. If you're going to go through all that to be in the tub, you want at least a little bit on the show.
Well, that's the thing with reality television. They film so many hours of content, so much, and then there's like 2 minutes of you. So I just don't know how they pick and choose. There's so much content. They could make a whole other series of what they filmed. So
editing's hard.
editing is really hard. I don't know how they did what they did with all the content they had.
Yeah.
So
Well, they did a good job with it
they
because
they
the
really
show
did.
flows really well.
It does. And I'm so sad that there's no season 2 because I really think they could have made it even better. And
It surprises me that they're not doing a season 2.
too. Me too. You never know why. There's so many reasons. Bravo is a huge company and they have tons of shows, and you never know what might happen. Sometimes it's just not the right time for season 2 and they have other shows on the go.
Right.
But I really think that if there were a season 2, it would be even 10 times better.
Well,
So
there's a lot of streaming networks out there. You never know.
you never know. I
Stuff
sit
moves
there and I
around
cross my
sometimes.
fingers. Yeah, I cross my fingers every day that something will come up.
Yeah. So you've got a little like a dance apparel company. Talk
I
about that
do.
a little bit.
So, during COVID, I was really bored and there was no practices and no competitions. And I said to myself, how can I stay in the game? So I developed a small company called Sabby Chic. Sabby is short for Sabrina.
Yeah.
And I sell dance bags, gym bags, tote bags, travel bags. We are often going from the from the airplane to the ballroom back home. And so this bag kind of takes you everywhere. It's machine washable. You get on a plane, it's your carry-on, you pack your dresses, your shoes, and then you get into the ballroom, you have everything. So I kind of worked with somebody on developing a great bag, and then we just expanded. We do ballroom robes
Those
or
robes are gorgeous.
they're beautiful, they're long velvet. We like to be chic in the ballroom, and women, have taken the products to new baby bags or gym
Yeah.
bags or beach bags. It just kind of is your everything go-to. So I have a few
Well, I could
products.
see where it would work as a gym bag, especially.
Yeah, we have duffel bags and they're machine washable, so it's great. They're water resistant. They're really, really high quality bags that last for
When
very
you've
long
got
time.
you've got a little bit there for the men too.
I do. I have 2 duffel bags for men that men can use. That's about it right now, but I'd love to expand. It's hard. Business is hard. You
Yeah.
got to keep grinding.
Well, and you're better off taking your time. You don't want
Right.
to expand too quickly because then you overreach.
That's absolutely true. You got to go slow and steady, and hopefully my brand picks up momentum each and every year. So I'm hoping I can make some new products soon.
Did you take time off after the show before you started competing again?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I took
Yeah.
like 6 months off.
Oh, okay.
I was so burnt out. After that last episode, I said to myself, I just need to regroup. I need to be with my family. I need time to regroup. And then we just took our time coming back on the dance floor. And now we're getting back into it again. And I'm competing a lot more. And I even started a new ballroom. It's called Smooth. So I've started a
Yeah.
new style and with a new partner. So I have more time to do other things now that I'm not filming and focus on the business and my girls, my family, of course. Of
I mean,
course.
that seems like it would take up most of the day.
Yes. There's so much going on, but yes.
Well, so what's next? Now that the show's done, you're back into competing.
Right.
Where are you wanting to go next? Do you have like new avenues you want to explore? Is it more competition, bigger competition? What's next?
So that's a great question. What would be my ultimate dream is that we get a season 2
Yeah.
somewhere and we could do that. That would be next. Unfortunately, if that does not happen, I'm going to continue dancing. I'm going to do some more competitions and really get better at this new style. And I'm going to try to grow my business and just focus on the family. Like my girls are extremely busy with dance,
Yeah.
so I can only stretch so far. But that would be what's next, is just continue to get better and better. And, it kind of keeps me young. So hopefully that will be enough for now.
Yeah. What kind of dance are they competing in?
So they do jazz,
Yeah.
ballet, tap,
Like all of them.
contemporary, lyrical, all of them. They're in a studio where you have to learn all of them. It's not like Latin dancing. And I've suggested it to them and they said no. So it's really, they want to stick to their studio. So
They'll
they
want
do.
to do it at some point.
I really hope so. It's such a beautiful sport. It really is. And it teaches you such elegance, something that I feel a lot of kids don't have. And when you
Yeah.
see the kids that are ballroom dancers, it's really a big difference. So, but you know what? They could start at any age. It doesn't matter. And I'm happy they're at least so active and
You know,
doing.
the great thing about dance, and I'm a terrible dancer, but luckily my daughters were very good dancers, and they did the competitions could get long because when your kid's not the one out there competing, you're just sitting through a lot.
Oh,
It can go all day up through the evening. It can
I know.
be a lot. But the great thing about dance is it improves your confidence so much, not just in dancing, but in life. Because you move better, you're more comfortable in your own skin, you're more athletic.
Yeah,
You
you become more presentable, you're more
Yep.
disciplined. I mean, I think it teaches you so much, and people don't realize that. And people will often question me, why do you still dance? Like you're getting old. But
No, you're not.
I really think that it just keeps you going. It keeps you feeling strong and
Yeah.
physically and mentally. It really does so much for the psyche. And I can't stress that enough. So for me, I'm not stopping. Helps my brain and my body.
Well, yeah, because once you're out there dancing, it probably shuts down the brain part.
Yeah,
You're dancing, but ahead of time, it's a lot of brain power.
it is. Even on the dance floor, sometimes you're like, shoot, I missed that step. And you're thinking, but you know what? The rest of the world is zoned out to you. You are just in your element.
I
That's
used to, when it's been decades ago, but I used to run track, and there were those days where I was too much in my own head. I didn't run very well.
right.
But those days where I could just shut everything off and not really even think about what I'm doing, is just kind of just out there running. Those were
Yeah,
my best days.
those are the best days when you're just having fun doing what you love and really just going with what
Yeah.
you learned. And that's it. You can't think.
No,
Just
no. I can guarantee that if you're like me, once you start thinking, that's when the problems come.
it's very true in every aspect of life, not only dance.
No, it goes for everything. You can
Okay,
overthink anything.
absolutely. I agree.
Yeah,
So don't think, just do it like
just
Nike
do it.
says.
Is there a style of ballroom dancing that would be better for a beginner?
You know what? That's a good question. They're all hard. I'm not gonna
Yeah,
lie.
they
I
look hard.
They are hard and if you're going into standard, which is, in hold with a partner, that it's
Right.
very difficult. Your constant connection, everything about that is very difficult. Latin, you have a little bit more freedom because you could separate. I would definitely start with Latin because that's just what I love and
I
I've
mean,
seen.
if you just dance, like if you're just a person that dances at a club or a party or something, it seems like Latin might be an easier one to
I
try
think
because you're already used to kind of moving.
right. And you could do the steps on your own. You could do a cha-cha on your own and the basics. And, you could do that on your own as opposed to in ballroom where you're together in frame. It's much more difficult. So I think if anybody wants to start, Latin would be the way to go.
Is it fun going shopping for the outfits?
So thankfully, I have a sponsor. I don't have to go to
Oh,
the
nice.
racks and shop.
Yeah.
Yes, it makes a huge difference, but it is hard because we design together what would be nice for me and I really think that that's the best part, designing the dress, what you're going to wear, what
Yeah.
color, when you put it on, how different you feel, like you literally turn from mom to I don't know, queen in a day. So it's a beautiful feeling to have your new dress on, your new it's great. It
Yeah.
is
And you
one of
probably
the
have to pick that out ahead of time because what if something, doesn't feel right when you put it on?
well, yes. So there's been a lot of times where my dressmaker is not done on time and sends it directly to the competition and you suddenly just have to go on the floor with this brand new dress. So you really hope it works. And thankfully they're so good at what they do. The
Yeah.
measurements are perfect, everything's perfect, and it just shows up and you're like, wow, like thank goodness.
Yeah.
But you'll see on the show, I got a dress the day of a competition and it turned out to be that it was not a good dress for me. So made a huge difference in my performance too.
Yeah, that would mess me up. I think if
Yeah.
if you've never tried it on, you try it on and it just doesn't feel quite right for you or it doesn't look exactly the way you wanted. That would mess with me some.
It really did. It really does. And if it's not the right dress, you really don't feel like the whole package. So it's a huge part of dancing is your costume.
You don't have like just a emergency backup dress?
Always. You always have a backup dress. Yes, I do. Um, I just thought that dress that I received for that show
Yeah.
was going to be okay. And then when I danced in it, it wasn't. So, and also, my partner has a big say in what I wear. He really
Oh,
says
yeah.
it doesn't look good. It doesn't look good on you.
Well, and you
Or
need to compliment each other.
right. And that's a big part of it. You have to look the part.
Yeah.
So I really think the dress is a huge, huge part. The whole look is.
I know. How long does it take you to get everything ready? The hair, the makeup, the dress, all of that.
It's amazing at these competitions. There are professionals who do this and
Yeah.
20-minute hair, 20-minute makeup. You're out of there
That's
within an
pretty quick.
hour. It's really, they're like a train station. You just go in and go out. It's a revolving
Did you
door.
miss them after?
Well, are you talking about
Well,
the
like, was that just a show thing or is it all
show? It's
competitions that way?
always, it's always. So
Oh,
the,
that's
the
nice.
people you see on the show are really the people I use at
Yeah.
competitions. And they do such a phenomenal job. Really, it's incredible what they do. And they do it fast. So I'm ready. Within an hour, they book you. You've got everything done, and then you put on your dress and you're good to go. Your tanning takes long though. You got to prepare a few nights before and do layers, and that's the biggest pain of dancing is the tanning.
I never would have thought that, but like bodybuilders
Yeah,
tan and do that.
yes,
Anything that you're kind of out in front of people, that's the norm. Yeah,
yeah.
you got some prep time.
It's a lot of layers of tanning. It is gross, and when it comes off, it starts looking like leprosy. It's not fun. It's really not fun. But you know what? It's part of the look. If you're not dark like a Latin dancer, it doesn't suit the dress and it looks way better when you're tanned.
Yeah, that
So
makes sense to me. Yeah.
yes. So
Nope.
it's all part of the acting part of it. You
Yeah.
got to lift your hair high and slicked back out of your face and the dress and the whole thing, everything just goes together.
Well, even the shoes, I guess you gotta
Yeah,
make
we
sure
have
you
to
got
wear
the
high
right pair
heels.
of shoes.
That's right. It's funny, during the show, one of my heels broke at a competition, and it was such a big ordeal for me to get a new pair of shoes. I didn't have an extra, and I had to go steal one and then pay them later because I was
Oh,
about to
that's
go on the
stressful.
floor. Yeah, and they didn't air that part because there's just so much you could air.
Yeah.
But it was a great, great drama.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Are you superstitious? Do you have certain things that you have to eat before competitions or do before a competition?
You know what? I'm not so superstitious that I stick to the same regimen, but I really do try to eat and sleep well before a
Yeah.
competition. You're really just trying to fuel up and not diminish what you're eating and not trying to, you really got to keep your energy up. It takes a lot. Even if every dance is a minute 30 and you're only on for 5 dances, people don't realize how much energy it actually takes out of you
Right.
to do those 5 minutes. It's incredible how exhausting it is because it's like a 5-minute sprint for your whole body and then down. And like you don't have downtime between the dances, really. So I can't explain it until you're out there on the floor and how much energy you actually need. And don't forget the adrenaline is going. And
That's
so
exhausting after.
yeah, so you need to eat, and I drink and I eat and I just take care of myself, my body, my mind. I try to like think good thoughts, and it's a whole regimen. I'm sure every athlete has that. Every athlete has what they go through before a competition or what they have to do. And for me, it's sleep, eat, drink, and calm myself down.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you have a like a go-to song or does it change every time?
Yeah, no, I don't have a go-to song, but I do look at the wall before a competition and talk to myself. So, like, I zone out from everybody around me and I just look at the wall and kind of give myself a good self-talk.
I wonder if that's an introvert thing. I do that.
Do you?
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
side
I
are
mean,
you?
not necessarily whatever it is. I just staring at something or a mirror maybe and just,
Yes.
a little pep talk.
a pep talk for myself, because not everybody will give me what I want to hear. So I give it to myself, and it works. It really, really just gets me one level down. So I think that's my only ritual, is talking to myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's not a bad one.
No,
That's
not
pretty
at all.
good. That's pretty good,
Yeah.
because
Thank
it
you.
even though you're dancing, you're not necessarily speaking while you're dancing. It kind
Right.
of gets your energy to the right place.
It really does. It takes you into a new zone instead of feeling so anxious. It's like meditating, but you do it for a few minutes before you go on the dance floor. And really,
Yeah.
some people, need to be in their room to meditate. I just need my wall. My wall. That's it.
No desire to at least go back to acting if you had the opportunity to play like a dance instructor.
Oh, I would take anything to put me on TV. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say I won't act, or I would definitely, I really love television. So I
Yeah.
would definitely go back into acting. It's just a matter of finding the right part for you and the
Right.
right agent. And, with acting, there's so many auditions, and it's just luck.
A lot of rejection with acting.
It's a lot of rejection. I just don't know if I could go through that again. It's a lot. And with dancing, I just feel like dancing is my opportunity to showcase myself, and to be in an arena where people can watch me. Whereas acting, it's hit or miss. You
Yeah.
might not get it. So I would definitely do it if the opportunity arose, but right now I'm not sure I'm going to go chase it.
Yeah, that makes sense. Any desire to teach at some point?
No, absolutely not. No, I'm not a teacher, and I really don't know the man's part. You have to know both. And I really,
Oh, yeah, I didn't think of
yeah,
that. Yeah.
yeah. And I maybe I would teach, kids, but I really don't have the time or the patience. I'm gonna be honest. I don't.
Well, yeah, teaching's a whole different skill set.
It really is. And if you're not going to be a good teacher, there's no point in, making
Well, it
them
doesn't help
suffer.
anybody.
Right. So I'd rather not. I'd rather be the student, and I'm happy to learn and absorb new information all the time.
Isn't it great though when you get out of school and you've been out for a while and then you find something that you can learn?
Yeah.
Because when you're in school and stuff, you usually fight against learning. But
Right.
then you get out and you get older and you like, yeah, it's kind of fun to learn.
It is. It's such a great thing. If I could go back to school, I would. If I had the time, I would take a course. It's a beautiful thing to learn. That's why when we have lessons with different coaches, they give you a different piece of information that you may not have heard, and it
Yeah.
just suddenly clicks. Oh, now I know how to do that move. And everybody gives you just something else. So for me, a good teacher is essential, and I don't want to I don't want to scare people off with my teaching skills, so I'll just be the student.
I don't know. Part of me would watch a show if you were the teacher.
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
I think that's a whole other show. The bad teacher. Yeah.
That might be fun.
Okay, if it was an act, if it was an act, if for real teaching, I don't know if I could do it.
Well, yeah, maybe a sitcom where you're
Right. I could
you're
make
a bad
a
dancing
bad teacher.
instructor, but like
I would,
really serious, like intense.
okay, let's pitch it. Who are
I
we
think we
going
could
after?
pitch that.
Yeah, we should pitch it.
That'd
Yeah.
be pretty good. That'd be pretty good. Well, Sabrina, thank you so much. This has been terrific. I thought you were the episodes I've seen so far. You are awesome. We
Thank
we
you.
loved it. We'll be watching the rest of the
Please do.
show as a group because the girl said we can't watch without them, so we got to wait for them to come visit, and then we'll
Please
watch.
do.
But
The finale is the best show, and it really is a great show. So I'd
yeah,
love for you to
it's definitely worth the time, especially if you enjoy those type of reality type shows. It's a good
yeah.
one.
It's a good one. Yeah. And hopefully more and more people will pick it up and watch it. So I appreciate your time and having me today. I really
Of
do.
course, yeah, happy to do it. So a couple little things before we
Yep.
go. Um, we talked about the clothing line.
Yeah.
Give us the website for that, and
Okay.
then
Sure.
your social media.
Okay. So the website for Sabby Chic is literally sabbychic.ca. So
Oh,
SABICHIC dancingqueens.ca. And for my Instagram, I have two. I have Dancing Sabby, which is me, my personal, and I also have Sabby Chic TO for Toronto is the business.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
That's really good. Do you do your own websites, or do you have
I
somebody?
do. I do. I get help here and there for
That
things.
takes time.
Yeah, I don't change it much because I don't know how. And if
Yeah.
I need somebody to change a picture, I ask for help. I'm not that computer
Well,
savvy.
I'm same. I'm lucky enough that my son handles all the technical stuff
Yeah,
and
yeah,
handles the website, because I've been on there and I can make a change if you give me like all day to do it.
all day. Yes, it's just not from my gender. I don't know. The young people right now are so good at everything. So I just let them do that.
Yeah.
And but my Instagrams, I do.
Yeah, very nice. Very nice.
Yeah,
Well, Sabrina, this has been terrific. And
thank
yeah,
you.
open invitation. If you have anything
Okay,
else going on, want to come back, just reach out. We'll get you back on.
that's amazing. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. It was
Yeah,
great.
this has been terrific. Okay, hold on one second.
Okay.
Sabrina Strasser, um, of Dancing Queens on Bravo. If you haven't watched it yet, it's a fun show. If you like dance, it's pretty awesome. It's very competitive. You get some Real Housewives vibes to the non-dancing parts of the show. Really entertaining. I hope they do get the second season. I think it's as good as the majority of the other or better at the majority of the other reality shows out there. I think it deserves a second season. Sabrina is terrific, and at times she can be very intense, but I think it adds to the show. As you can see talking to her, I mean, she's terrific. She just lovely. That was the best. I really enjoyed that. I've always been a dancing dad. That doesn't mean that I can dance, but I've definitely went to my share of competitions to watch the girls in, and loved it. It was terrific. They can get a little long, but there's nothing better than watching your child do something that they love. And my oldest, actually, her daughter Charlie has spent some time in dance. She'll turn 4 next weekend. Um, and loves to dance. It's the best watching her just wandering around dancing, and singing to herself to give her music to dance to. I just love it. So the show is Bravo's Dancing Queens. Definitely give that a watch. Check that out. If you're finding us, and definitely check out Sabrina's dancing line, Sabby Chic. Really good stuff on there, and that's coming from a guy that maybe doesn't have the best taste. I'm looking at it though, and it's really good. It's really good. The robes I thought were just gorgeous, and the bags look functional and attractive. So to me, that's a win-win. And they've got some nice looking duffel bags for guys. I thought it was really well done. If you're finding us for the first time, thank you. Love that you're here. We're closing in our 700th episode. That's hard for me to even say. Obviously, we've been doing this coming up on 5 years. It'll be five years next month. 700 episodes. You can find all of those, audio and video, on our website, meistercon.com. So please check us out there. If we're doing anything in studio, if we're going on location, covering a convention, anything we have going on, be on the website, meistercon.com. So check us out there. Our YouTube channel is MeisterCon Pod. Really appreciate it if you could subscribe. It's free, but those subscriptions really help us out. It helps us to attract these wonderful guests that we get on the program. IMDb, which is the entertainment database, just recently named us a top 100 podcast. I can't believe it. 15 million podcasts out there. Why you would want a father and son team from a little town in West Virginia on your top 100 list beats me. We must be doing something right. But I'm so appreciative of it. If you go to imdb.com, look up the Too Opinionated podcast, just bringing the page up, which is also free, helps us just having that traffic on the page. So please do that. And it'll also list all 700 episodes and all the guests that we've had. I think you'll be surprised with the quality of guests that we've been lucky enough to have on the show. It's just amazing. Thank you guys so much. Till next time. Bye, everybody. Hi, everybody. I'm once again here to ask for your support. It's been a big year for the Too Opinionated podcast. Back in February, we got to live out a dream, moderate for William Shatner here in our hometown. In May, we passed 100,000 downloads on our YouTube channel, and we followed that up in June with 50,000 downloads on the audio side. We recently posted our 600th episode, which is pretty good volume for just a father and son operation. You know, not too many podcasts can keep that volume up. We've been doing this now for 4.5 years, 600 plus episodes. We recently hit 1,000 subscribers on our YouTube channel, which is a really big deal for us because we've always gotten the views, but have struggled to get people to subscribe. So that 1,000 was a big deal for us. And best of all, we were recently named one of the top podcasts on IMDb, which is the entertainment database. You know, those that are ahead of us, we came in at number 82. Those that are ahead of us are bigger companies like Disney, mostly Marvel, and Joe Rogan, that type of podcast. So for us, being just a small West Virginia father and son podcast, to be in the top 100 out of 15 million, it's a pretty big deal for us. So thank you for everything you've done for us so far. Got a couple little ways, though, that you can help us, and they're free, and they're really easy. If you haven't checked out our YouTube channel yet, please go to YouTube. It's under MeisterCon Pod. Just hit subscribe. It's free. Doesn't cost you anything. Really helps us a ton. And maybe even more important, if you could go to imdb.com, look up the Too Opinionated podcast, and just look around the page. Just having that traffic on the page really helps us out. So that's a couple easy ways that you can support us, even if you're not listening or watching all of the time. And we want you to listen and watch, because I think that our guest list, I would put up against anybody, any other show, podcast, anybody out there. I think our guest list holds up. So please check us out. You probably will find somebody that you like, or maybe somebody that you didn't know you liked, but kind of discovered them on there. There's tons of that. If you're into music, we have that too. If you like books, we've got authors on there. If you're more into what goes on behind the scenes in the entertainment world, you know, we've got producers, directors, video artists, anything you can think of that happens behind the scenes, we've had them on the show. So definitely check us out. Thank you guys so much. Until next time. Bye, everybody.